Welcome and thank you for tuning in to episode number 9 of 10 Tesla Topics, your show for Tesla related news, rumors, and stories. My name is Max Maurice, and during today's episode, I'll fill you in on 5 Tesla topics from Saturday, February 18th to Tuesday, February 21st. Now you might be wondering, whoa, isn't it 10 Tesla topics? Well, yes, but for these next 2 weeks, because I'm in university and exams or midterms rather, I should say, are taking a big chunk out of my time, I've decided for these next 2 weeks to do 10 Tesla topics, however, split it into 2. So 5 topics on a Tuesday, 5 topics on a Saturday. So you're still getting 10 topics, but unfortunately, it's not every episode. So I'm sorry if you don't like this format. So like I said, I'll be doing this for the next 2 weeks. If you do, however, enjoy the shorter episodes, let me know in the comments, and then I'll continue to do these. But if not, I'll go right back to doing 10 Tesla topics, but 20 topics per week. So in today's episode, these are the topics that I'll be discussing. Employees at the Gigafactory, the battle in Connecticut, a very close call for a Tesla transporter, dates of the EGT races, and the Model 3 production, a little update on that. Topic number 1 comes from Tesla Roddy, and it's just a little short one. So the head of Nevada Governor's Office of Economic Development says Tesla has hired more than 1,000 workers at the Gigafactory. Executive Director Steve Hill told the Senate Finance Committee last week that Tesla is ramping up their hiring and expects that the factory will have about 3,200 workers by March 2018. So if you do the little math there, so just above a year, they should triple their numbers, which is insane. He says they're hiring 150 to 200 people more every month, which is great. I mean, so that just means, more American jobs, and Tesla is able to keep up with the demand, especially with the Model 3 that is coming pretty quickly. Topic number 2 comes from Tesla Roddy, and for I want to use the term long-time listeners, but if you've listened to a few of my episodes prior to this one, you'll know that this is probably my least favorite topic to talk about. But here we go. So for the 3rd year in a row, a bill has been introduced in the Connecticut legislature that would allow Tesla to sell its electric vehicles directly to consumers who live in the state without going through a franchise dealer. So as of right now, Tesla has a service center in Milford and a gallery in a shopping area in Greenwich. So Tesla's Greenwich showroom has been subject to legal action by the Connecticut Automotive Retailers Association, which wants to beat back at any intrusion into the local market. At the moment, Tesla makes no sales at that location, nor do they offer any test drives. Jim Fleming, president of the Car Retailers Group, says that they are illegally selling cars out of that location in Greenwich, which, okay there. So there are roughly around 1,300 Teslas registered in the state of Connecticut as of right now, as of recording this podcast. Most people who want one simply go to New York or Massachusetts to buy theirs. Of course, that means New York or Massachusetts gets to claim the sales tax revenue when the car is sold there, even if it is, immediately driven across the state line and registered in Connecticut. Now, interestingly, those 1,300, roughly, Teslas represent 62% of all electric cars registered in the state. And that, just goes to show, if there's a will, there's a way. Topic number 3 comes from Tesla Roddy, and so a reader of Tesla Roddy sent Tesla Roddy a photo showing a Tesla transport truck carrying 3 Model X vehicles through Switzerland, just barely escaping an accident while traveling under a railway bridge. A Peugeot van was also on the transporter, did not fare so well after striking the bottom of the bridge and falling off the delivery truck and onto the ground. Now, the photo was captured by Swiss media outlet Blick, showing the aftermath of the accident, and according to local police reports, no one was hurt in the incident, which is always a positive to hear. Now, so it's not really clear where the transporter was headed, but based on the direction of the travel and the mix of Tesla vehicles on board with other new cars, we can only, assume that it was a delivery truck that was just picking up a batch of new Model X's from Tesla's service center in Bayonne, about 35 kilometers south, or on its way to deliver the vehicles to their new owners. So it was some scary, nail-biting stuff, but fortunately for most of the vehicles and everyone around, nothing drastic happened. Topic number 4 comes from Electrek. And now just a little refresher here. So the Electric GT Championship, or the EGT, they're going to use the new Model S P100D with the Ludicrous Plus as their race cars. Now, if you don't really remember, they say that their P100D can accelerate from 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in 2.1 seconds. Now you might be wondering, well, I thought the P100D is, 2.4 stuff. Well, they did mod the car a fair bit, stripping, I think it was around 500 kilos or 500 pounds or something like that. And, they turned it into a race car. But so the EGT, or the Electric GT Championship, they've confirmed the launch date for their first season of the championship, where we'll see this insane or ludicrous, I should say, P100D in action for the very first time. Electric GT CEO Mark Gemmel, or I think it's Gemmel, has been promising a launch in 2017, but now he can finally give us a date. And that date is the 12th of August, 2017. Now, he has confirmed the 7 races of the season to Autocar last week. So here's the list of the races. And so during each race, 10 teams will compete with 20 drivers and vehicles. Gemmel, the CEO, said that a race weekend will consist of a 20-minute practice session, 30 minutes of qualifying, and 2 60 kilometers or 37-mile races, one in the day and one at dusk. And now this is where it gets really interesting, and when I read this, I kind of grinned because it'll be really cool to see. The races will launch with a standing start. So, it's not like, now I don't follow racing too much, but I'm pretty sure with other, like NASCAR and stuff, they start, going 40 miles per hour or something like that. So it's not from 0 to 200 miles per hour or whatever it is. So it'll be really interesting to see. And so Gemmel, he comments on that. Seeing 20 of these cars launch off, they're about as fast or even a bit faster than a Formula 1 car off the line. I think people will be surprised by the noise. When you get 20 cars together, you can get an interesting sense of power, which I completely agree with. I am sure you've seen videos online about Tesla's insane, even ludicrous mode launches, and you've probably wondered, like, wow, I got to get in one. Wow, that looks insane. Whoa, I could never do that. I hate roller coasters. Well, now imagine seeing 20 of those cars do that at the exact same time. So mark your calendars. It'll be interesting. Topic number 5, and the last topic for today's episode, comes from Electrek. Now, as you may know, Tesla is currently temporarily shutting down their production in Fremont to update manufacturing equipment for Model 3 production, and we could be getting our first real picture of an actual Model 3 chassis right here. So Tesla's CEO Elon Musk has been referring to the Model 3 production line as an alien dreadnought. He said that his goal is for the factory to look more like an alien than an actual factory. He emphasized that the first version of the Model 3 production line will only be a version 0.5 of the Alien Dreadnought, but the line will get updated, of course, with more automation, as he envisions a version 3 in a few more years. So Mr. Musk and the team have been focused on the speed of production at the factory over this past year. He says that Model S and X production move at about 5 centimeters per second on the line, but he sees an opportunity for a 20-fold increase in production speed for the Model 3 in Fremont, or at least 1 meter per second. He says we are probably a while from that happening, but we are much closer to the version 0.5 of the Alien Dreadnought as Model 3 production is getting closer, which is so exciting to hear. Really any time that Elon mentions anything about the Model 3, it's always exciting because, we're getting closer and closer, really. So a Tesla employee recently posted pictures of what could very well be the pilot production of the Model 3. The pictures were taken from an Instagram of an employee claiming to be working on the Model 3 pilot production line. They were posted to Tesla's subreddit last week, but they were quickly taken down by the holder of the Instagram account, but Electric managed to get some copies. So at the Fremont factory, employees at different workstations give nicknames to their teams, and this one is apparently named Area 51, which could be a reference to the alien dreadnought. I mean, that would only make sense, right? So in the picture here, it's interesting because it looks like it could be a Model 3 chassis. Now, it's rather hidden, but it looks a lot more like the render of the chassis that Elon Musk showed at the original unveiling of the Model 3 last year than a Model S or X chassis. Here's a little side-by-side with the render from the unveiling. So, those are your 5 Tesla topics from Saturday, February 18th to Tuesday, February 21st. For any questions, remarks, or even criticism, I encourage you to follow the show's Instagram and Twitter pages at 10 Tesla Topics. That's TENTESLATOPICS. And I'm changing it a little bit because there's not too much activity on Twitter, and on Twitter is where I always posted the links to the full stories if you wanted to read the full stories or see the full video or whatever the case may be. So instead, I'll just be putting the links to every topic in the description of the YouTube video. So once again, if you want to read the full story, see the full video, whatever it may be, just click in the link in the bio, and you'll find the full story. But also, if you want, for any reason, you could send me an email at 10teslatopics@gmail.com. That's TENTESLATOPICS@gmail.com. But of course, the easiest way would just be to subscribe to my channel, drop a like, drop a comment, I'll answer right here on YouTube. So we'll see you right here next Saturday for the next show. Thank you for listening, and of course, have yourself a model excellent day.